If I say something which I see repeated in sentiment or explicitly, like 40,000 times a day broadly in the left community, and nobody gives a shit with, the term stuff, trans, inclusionary, radical misogyny, that type of stuff, which I see all the time. People still think it's funny, whatever, I think it's a bit overplayed at this point, but I see it all the time. If I see stuff like that and nobody cares, and then I, Vaush, make a comment vaguely in line with that, and people in my community start hand-wringing, I'd rather just permaban you guys. I can't keep doing this.
This is such a light bulb insight into how utterly dog shit the leftist community is right now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that among leftists, because there are some TERFs out there, that meant it was acceptable to be sexist against all women.
Yeah, I know.
Because that's what Vaush is saying. He's like, guys, I don't understand. I mean, we've been totally fine with being sexist against women because some women are TERFs for a year now. Why do I get in trouble for it when I do it publicly? I don't understand.
Yeah, I had no idea that was a thing. I do. I mean, I make edgy, sexist jokes all the time, but I am joking, obviously. Women should be able to vote, for heaven's sakes. You guys, I see people legitimately saying women, like society fell apart when women got the vote. And I think,
but
why?
here's the
Why would you believe that?
If we make an edgy joke, we make edgy jokes all the time.
Of course, yeah.
About, women. I constantly make edgy jokes about being Jewish and how we're like the master religion.
Yes.
And you get very uncomfortable by this stuff. And the point that when we make these jokes is to push the boundary, to say something silly and preposterous because we think it's funny to say things you're not allowed to say. Okay.
Yes.
This is very, very different.
Yes.
We're not making edgy jokes about women or whomever because we have some problem with women or whatever the group is. Okay.
That's so
This
true.
is them literally saying we have a problem with some women, therefore it's okay for us to be sexist against all women.
Right. How's that any different than the MGTOWs?
It's a completely different thing that's happening.
No, I mean, how is that any different from the guys who are like, all women are terrible? Like they just see you as a resource.
Right. They want to suck up all your money and take your. Yeah. No, it's the same thing.
How's that any different than actual misogynists?
It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing.
Right. They just have a different justification for misogyny.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. Well, I need to focus. I have good relationships with women, guys, so I'm not misogynistic for that reason. Well, I could see a lot of people being like if you had no good relationships with any females in your life, I could see people becoming misogynistic because you have it's basically a group of people that you have no relationship with.
Well, I think this is the trap that some people who are MGTOW fall into, which is that they have a lot of bad personal experiences with women.
Yes.
And then they relate that to being a problem with all women. And I say, well, no, what's going on is that if you're straight and you're trying to have a relationship with a woman, it's not like having a friend. Okay. Me and Adam are friends. That doesn't mean that that we would be able to have like a relationship where we live together and see each other every day and have to like be a joint team the way you are in a relationship.
Why not?
I would be very annoyed.
I'm just kidding.
If I had to live with Adam every day. I hate to tell you. And he'd be very annoyed with me. I know. He'd be very annoyed with me.
My wife would be very upset about it, for one thing.
She would.
I mean, she'd be like, why did you let him move in with us?
But
he's my friend, honey.
I think the problem is that people say, oh, I have fine relationships with male friends, but I have bad relationships when I'm trying to be romantically involved with women. Therefore, women must be the problem. It's like, no, the type of relationship you're having is very different. It's similar to like, you can be very good friends with someone and then if you like move in together, not romantically, but you just move in together as a roommate, suddenly you might be like, oh, they do all these things that piss me off or annoy me. Because the type of relationship you have has now changed. The context of your relationship has now changed.
focus on the right enemies. Every time I do anything, God, it's a quote tweet from J.K. Rowling. You people can't focus on the higher priority here. There are people in my community talking about how I mishandled the drama. What drama? I tweeted something. It's not like I was talking to Rowling. I wasn't on a talk show with her. You guys realize that the optics for a direct, engaged conversation are different than the optics of just talking generally. You realize that J.K. Rowling, if she wanted to, could find something her audience would find equally objectionable in the media of almost any person on the left. I'm pretty sure that J.K. Rowling could look through a fucking Big Joel or Cody Johnson video and find a section of it that she considers as misogynistic as what I said. She complained that trans supporters were doxing her because they...
This is just so... all this whataboutism.
Yeah, totally. And it's like she beheaded me. She could have easily beheaded someone else. Yeah, so?
So what? Like, imagine this argument. Like, if I tweeted out, like, I hate N-words, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, Sitch, you're such a racist. You just tweeted out, I hate N-words. I'm like, yeah, but why are you attacking me? I mean, you could have found anyone else that tweeted that out and attacked them.
Of course. Why aren't you going after Richard Spencer?
Why are you going after someone else?
Why are you going after me?
Yeah, it's like, what is this argument?
Yeah, it's completely ridiculous. Well, the argument that he's trying to make is, we're all bad. If you abandon me, you have to abandon Big Joel and Cody Johnson as well.
When J.K. Rowling came for Vaush, I said nothing. When there was no one else left to defend me, and J.K. Rowling came to me to drag me off to the camps to be canceled. I was like, I should have stood up for Vaush.
Big Joel says some crazy shit. I don't know if Big Joel
does.
I don't know if he'd go this route, though, to be honest with you.
No.
Big Joel seems a little more sensitive to the sexist stuff.
Right.
I mean, conservatives, yeah, okay. He's same ballpark as Vaush.
Part of the problem is that the joke element of his tweet doesn't, as I said earlier, there's three purposes for an edgy tweet, and his joke doesn't seem to fall into any of them, except for maybe that he actually wants women to shut the fuck up. And so that's his problem.
Huge problem.
The master of optics here, like his joke doesn't even it has no context where it really makes sense appropriately.
This is a huge optical loss.
Yes.
And then,
so is freaking out on your audience
making this video is like the next optical loss.
Right.
And then us covering it is the next optical loss. That's true. And I'm sure a lot of other people are covering it as well.
I can almost guarantee that this will not be clipped and cut and put on his channel.
Really?
You think this segment, he'll put this segment on his channel?
No, I guess not. Yeah.
I mean, I just by happenstance, by luck, said, "Oh, he's streaming right now and he's talking about this. I wonder what he's saying."
A bunch of people sent this to me. A bunch of people sent this to me.
They sent you this stream, or they sent you his
stream as it was happening. Okay. Yeah,
I see.
A bunch of people jumped into my DMs and were like,
"Right,
Vaush is blowing up on his audience."
He took photos holding up pro-trans signs outside of her house when she lives in a castle, and that location has news articles about it. It's not a secret house. It's a very publicly known manor in a public place, like near commercial areas.
This person did something way worse than me. Look over there. Over there, look. Look at that.
What about this?
Oh, you've made it difficult. The normies will look at this and think, no, they won't. You know what the normies are going to think? The normies are going to think, oh, wow, J.K. Rowling really is quadrupling down on the trans stuff, isn't she?
No. Crystal Ball is definitely a normie. Crystal Ball right now is thinking, oh, my God, I got an interview with that crazy misogynist. Yep. That's exactly what she's thinking. All the reputational damage Vaush has tried to do to people has now been turned around on him. Now he's staring down the big cannon, the big cannon in his face.
Well, yeah, and if I was in his audience, I would say, how out of touch is Vaush? How bad is he at understanding optics if he thinks the average normie person is going to look at J.K. Rowling's tweeting of Vaush, okay, and think, wow, J.K. Rowling's really doubling down on the transphobia? No one's going to think that.
Not only
not even
that,
a fucking tweet.
First of all, most of the any normie person that believes J.K. Rowling is a transphobe believes that based on the media lying about the situation. Right. None of them, if any of them knew the details of the situation, all of them would be on J.K. Rowling's side. I have no doubt. So this actually brings attention that may make more normies that dig in a little deeper and go, oh, wow, I thought she was a transphobe. Now that I look closer at it, she's just a normal person. It's definitely going to turn the normies more towards her side.
Yes, definitely. And this whole thing is very 1984-esque because basically we have to castigate and criticize J.K. Rowling for something she's never said.
Yep.
But you have to defend me and take the opposite of something I directly
actually said. Exactly. Yes. Oh, yeah. This is newspeak all the way.
Yeah.
I think all available information indicates that public opinion has turned massively against her. The more time J.K. Rowling spends on this, the more time she rambles in this direction, goes in this diatribe, the better things are for us optically.
That's so wrong. That is so wrong. The more time she spends on this, the more people realize that they've been lied to about this situation. Right. This is exactly Kyle Rittenhouse all over again.
Well, and
the more they dig, the more they're going to realize, oh shit, he never crossed state lines.
Right. But also, it's not just Vaush training his audience to be woke scolds. It's the mainstream media has been trying to train America and the rest of the world to be woke scolds. And so J.K. Rowling is going to benefit greatly first by saying, oh, look, all these people attacking me are misogynists. I mean, that's playing directly into the narrative.
Of course. Yes. Yeah. You know what's a big headline on MSNBC? J.K. Rowling receives death threats. Here's one from a guy named Vaush. Right?
Right.
Yeah. What do you think he means by the try to stay quiet challenge? Who is quiet? Dead people?
Dead people and abused women. # me too.
Oh, of course.
Because it reveals the depths of her delusional obsession.
I love this.
The projection.
The looking at the chat is so... It really is just a dialogue with his audience. I mean, I guess we do that to some extent, but...
Yeah, but there's a difference between you want to know what your audience is saying or thinking and just trying to couch what you're saying.
Trying to manipulate. I feel like this is major trying to manipulate the audience.
This is gaslighting.
Yes.
It's systemic gaslighting.
Well, I am literal gaslighting. I mean, I think he is trying to fool his audience. He knows. Look, you can tell that he knows this is optically a disaster.
Right.
He knows that.
Someone says, Vaush, imagine if you put white or cis in front of that misogynistic tweet.
Oh.
That's going to come back later. I don't know if it comes back now, but
that
comes back later.
You're so gullible. God. I can't.
I need to start making a list here. Fakers. Now we're
fakers, liars.
Gullible, yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah. Gullible.
I believe after 3 years of doing this, there are people in my community who think optics is don't do the thing the conservatives will say you're bad for doing.